And also, I think a lot of this for the UK, we've had a lot of the supply chains be impacted post Brexit. So that's put a lot of the cost of everything up, which has meant that a festival that was profiting maybe, a few years ago, now when they run the numbers, completely different story. Yeah. So we've had a lot of attrition of festivals over the last kind of year because of that as well. But it creates new space for people that want to reinvest and create and innovate, like you said. So yeah, it sounds like France and UK on a
We're on the same
thing.
page, kind of, and not only like I think Europe in general is. It's not the best era of going out. Like now, as I said, everybody's on their phone. The new generation is maybe, they don't drink as much. They don't connect with each other as much. They're more maybe. I'm just suggesting like they're more into video games, online. Maybe into positive stuff like sport, maybe more, but like I feel like the club culture is not as strong as it used to be in the 2090s, 2000.
Yeah. Do you think that will change? Do you think it will change?
I hope so, yeah. I think it will because in life it's always a circle. And, we got a lot of young people that come to Gate 2, like the new generation, and they love the no fun policy because they never been to a party without fun. For our generation, we went to parties, the smartphone didn't exist. So for us, it was just normal to connect, when we were young. Yeah. But for the new generation, they are born with a phone in their hand. And so they discover something that, wow, this is new. It's not new. It's old, actually. But for them, it's new. And so that's why I believe it will, if it's made this way with no phone and no videos and educate a bit the crowd to enjoy the music. Yes, the new generation will love it. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this new generation as well seems to want something different, so like an experience. Something we noticed in the UK was a lot of the venues that weren't innovating, weren't offering anything new, weren't recreating. They're gone. But the ones that are coming, okay, let's create something different to talk about that's in here, a new experience in that venue, or the festivals that are doing the same, they are thriving. So it's a change in the market, I think. I don't know what France was like back in the day, but I know for me when we were young, we'd go out 5 nights a week. You wouldn't even think about it. Like now that's not happening, but they're still going out just in a different way. And they want more when they go out, Yeah.
I know it's they want a show, they want big videos, massive screen, lasers. Okay, that's cool. That's one thing. We do something else. But I have nothing against that. Like when you see Kenny Music, Afterlife, all the big event when Black Coffee is coming to Dubai, I don't see much people dancing.
No.
But it doesn't mean they don't enjoy the moment. They just do something different, like they are on their phone, they film what they are seeing. Me, if I go to this event, I will maybe enjoy it, but I will definitely not film it. I want to live it. But, I'm not judging. Like if they had a good time and they come back home with plenty of memories in their phone and they're happy with it, it's good for them, We just propose something different.
Yeah. And so with Dubai, what's the market like in Dubai and how has it grown over the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like maybe 3-4 years ago, like before COVID, basically, the music trend was R&B, hip hop, and the electronic music was much smaller. But I guess everywhere in the world. And now it's the opposite. Like there is very few R&B pop parties, like less than electronic music, because it became extra popular. Kenny Music is a very good example of that. You can find many cover remix of famous song made into Afro house vibe, and yeah, so now it's the new pop music, at the moment. but it will change because it's always
Always changing. And there's a lot more larger events, isn't there? So Ushuaia opening and, like you said, Black Coffee.
yeah,
And
they do
was that
amazing
the same?
shows. Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, was that happening?
No, it was existing, but in a much smaller scale. And it was not about the show, like massive screen, fireworks. It was smaller, basically. It grew as the city is growing, like Dubai is exploding. Like the traffic is much more than before. Like everything is more busy. So yeah, it's normal that you can have on the same night a massive 15,000 people in Expo and at the same time Ushuaia doing their thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so with Gate,
And still Gate is busy and still other places are busy, like, so it's like, of course you can feel it when the two massive venue drag like 50,000 people. Okay. Okay, we feel it's less busy than usual, but it's still happening. And this 5 years ago, you could not even make 10,000 people in one place. Yeah. So
Where do you see it going?
I would like to know where it's going, but I think it will just keep on growing until we reach a point that we have the whole planet in Dubai. I mean, who knows?
it feels that way, doesn't it?
Honestly, but everybody's moving here. So
I read an article from a UK perspective, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, just about how many people are leaving and coming to Dubai, and it's still happening, particularly like wealthy multimillionaires or millionaires are leaving and coming here, and that's not slowed down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's less good for the UK or for France, but again, it's maybe a cycle, and maybe people will travel differently as well. I see many people investing here, having a residency here, but not being here all year long. So I think it's good for the aviation industry, actually.
Good for many industries. Yeah, but I would say in our industry, like I question the high levels of competition. Like, is that going to become destructive at some point? Where
No,
you don't think so?
I think in any case, in sport, in any field, competition is great because you push forward your limits and you get only better, rather than just getting stuck into what you know what to do and you just yeah. So as long as it's a sane competition, I'm in for that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. Yes. So tell us what's Gate?
So Gate 2 is it's our club. Me and John, we partner up with Admine to create with Iris to create a very intimate venue with no phone, no video allowed. So when you enter in the club, we put a sticker on your phone that covers all your cameras. So it's a big sticker. And because now the phone are cameras everywhere, front, back, and yeah, it's not allowed to record anything. You can obviously use your phone if you need to text someone, but the idea is to disconnect you from this addiction, because we're all addicted to this phone. When you wake up, you take your phone, you check your social, you scroll, whatever. The idea was when you come to this club, this doesn't exist anymore. And so you can, instead of being on your phone, you will connect to the person next to you and connect to the music, because you will be focused on what you're listening to. And this is a massive game changer. People behave completely differently, and everybody is more friends with each other. There is never a fight. There is never a misunderstanding.
Wow.
Because everybody are on the same page. So sometimes it's very emotional to see everybody dancing the same way in the same direction, smiling at each other. And this is something that we lost in the nightlife, I believe. So I don't find many places like this in Dubai that you can really feel like everybody is here on the same purpose with the idea of enjoying the music.
I mean, it seems quite foreign, doesn't it? That you'd put somewhere that people like to put on social media or talk about what they've been doing on their night out, and you've made it impossible for them to share. It is possible.
At the end, many people exit the club, remove their sticker, take a picture of the front of the club, and then it's it's kind of a bit of a mystery for people who see that. But we do have photographer, videographer in the venue. The idea is not to be private or do secret thing in the venue. No, it's not about that. It's about the people to be free. But of course, we have a videographer, photographer taking the moments.
Yeah.
And so we have content. We can communicate on Instagram with what we do there, and people can find themselves on pictures online on our Instagram accounts. But yeah, the idea is not to hide anything. It's for the people, for the crowd to be free.
So what have you noticed is the biggest difference? So if you compare Gate to some other club, what's the biggest difference that you see by not having phones?
The crowd is completely different. Even if it's the same person, the same people, they will behave completely differently in a normal venue than Gate 2, because at Gate 2 they're different because of these rules. So yeah, and on top of that, the sound, the music is different, the experience is different. So yeah.
It's exciting. I need to come check it out. And I think other people are starting to take that concept on, aren't they? I know in London there's a venue, not in London, but in the UK, there's a venue in Manchester that's opening with the same thing, the no phone policy.
It exists in Europe for many years. If you go to UK, in London, there is many places like that, like Fabric, Beat London. If you go to Berlin, it's like this since the 90s. I mean, since the smartphone started to be there, they banned it straight away in, I think, all the clubs in Berlin are like that, or most of them.
Wow.
So it's nothing, we didn't invent anything, but we created something that didn't exist here in Dubai.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's generationally quite important, you know, like the changes that we've had in the industry post-COVID and the rise of social media for that kind of, Gen Z generation. Everyone is way more addicted to their phones than they used to be.
And we know that. And our marketing is really, really turned into social media. Because people get to know the place, right? And you're not going to see your friends posting a story dancing in the place. So the only way we could do that is to have a very cool and smart marketing. So what we do every week before the weekend, we post a video. John and I are talking like we do right now. And we explain which DJ we book, who is playing, why we book them, and what to expect from the night. But it's not an artwork. Of course, we have an artwork, but it's not like a classic artwork with the DJ name. It's a video when we explain why we book these DJs and what they're doing and why you should come.
Amazing.
And of course, we make a couple of jokes in the middle.
Yeah, you must.
but that's the idea to make the marketing of Gate 2 is it's also one of the special things that other places don't do.